Hey everyone, my name is Trent Kelly, and this is my second attempt at D205. And to get started, my research question is I wanted to see if there's any correlative effect with the timely fixes and customer turnover. I just wanted to see if there was any relationship between what I interpreted with the timely fixes, that customers would rate the fixes from 1 to 10, and if we had a high or low rating, if that had any effect or correlation on customer turnover or churn. And so one of the corrections that I needed to make was in my paper, I incorrectly stated that I was using the churn clean CSV, which I had pulled off the WGU website, and I was going to do all of this in my own pgAdmin on my desktop, but it was before I had realized what Pinocchio was all about. So I incorrectly stated that that's the source of the database of the original, but I'm actually using the churn integrated database in pgAdmin. And my add-on file is going to be the survey responses. And so to get started, so creating a table within pgAdmin. So we're just going to create a table. And as stated in my previous video, I realized I didn't need to add these, the timely responses, replacements, etc. But when I was making all of this, I was admittedly just a little uncomfortable. So I put these in here when I would do like a select all query, I would just see more results, and that way I knew that everything was functioning appropriately. And so again, my primary key is on the customer ID, which also acts as a foreign key. We can only have one customer ID. If we have more than one customer per ID, that creates some data cleaning issues and some analysis issues. It would be really hard to pull impactful data from a database that has multiple customers to a single ID, or the opposite, multiple customer IDs to a single customer. It would be really difficult to extrapolate what's going on. And then referencing the customer ID column in the public consumer table. And I didn't technically need to put this in here, but just did on update no action. So it's just indicating what's happening. If we have any foreign key constraints, you can do other things like cascade these, but again, you don't technically need these in here, but just did anyways. So to run this, to create an empty table, and query returned successfully. And we are then going to fill this table. And so mainly what's happening here is we're taking data from, or fields from, the survey responses, and it's located in the lab files. That was my add-on table. And I am taking the timely fixes, focusing on that aspect from this, this CSV file. And our delimiter is just the fields are going to be separated by commas. CSV header is going to be just treating the first line of the CSV file as a header. If we don't have that in here, we will get some errors. Run that, so return successfully. So our new table titled churn2_fixes CSV should now be filled with data. And to run that, so we have some aliases that are happening. So just renaming, basically. So customer churn as customer churn, just creating these aliases, and we're joining the churn2 fixes table and alias, and alias it as fix, and then joining the tables based on the customer ID column right here. So let's run that, and this should give us customer ID, churn, and timely fixes, and we should have these renamed. All right, so we got the customer ID, customer churn, and fixes, churn. And as stated in the previous video, you could put these in like ascending or descending order. I had that in a previous query, but I don't know how important it was, and I didn't feel that it was any more impactful than what we have right here, especially just from an acquisition standpoint. I'd say maybe do that when you're exploring from an analytics standpoint a little further. And so as far as like when to update this, since there, as stated in the previous video, there's a lot of data already present. And so what I would say the utility of doing all of this would be that we have a business that has existing infrastructure and existing customer base, and they're wanting to assess the functionality and effectiveness of their timely fixes and what that does to customer satisfaction. And so since we already have a lot of data present, you wouldn't need to run this very often. I would say maybe quarterly or biannually. And that really just depends on how aggressive the business wants to be. And so if we do have a correlative effect on timely fixes and customer turnover, and they implement a lot of fixes, maybe do this quarterly. But if it's something that there's a lot of changes from an infrastructural standpoint that would need to happen, you may need to push this back to biannual. And this may not be the most effective way, but this is what I came up with. So if we just delete everything from it, and then whoever is responsible for updating the survey results, provided they don't change the names of anything. If they change the names, then we're going to have to update this. But if everything remains constant, then we can just refill the table, and nothing is going to be new because we haven't changed anything. But then we can rerun our existing query, and we would have some updated values in here. Something else I needed to fix was my ERD diagram. I misunderstood the question. So to see an entity diagram or relationship diagram, there it is. So this is just going to show cardinality and relationships. So we have, this is the table that we made, just made and filled. So the churn2_fixes CSV, and this shows a connection, a primary and foreign key constraint on the existing database. These are all under here, so we can see all these, and additional ties to these. So the contract, job, location, payment, because all those should have an individual customer ID as well. So yeah, there should be a relationship tying those together. Let's see what else. Let me pull up. So I believe that is everything that I was being asked as far as revisions. So again, I thank you for your time today and hope you have a good day.